Chapter 9, The Weight of Time. 2 years had slipped through Ria's fingers like grains of sand, each moment marked by a growing sense of frustration and despair. The once vibrant hope she had felt when she first filed her legal notice had dimmed, replaced by an overwhelming sense of futility. Court appearances blurred into a monotonous cycle of waiting, and every application she had submitted met the same disheartening fate, dismissed without reason or consideration. Ria had fought valiantly against the system that had tried to silence her, but now, she felt like a ghost haunting the halls of justice, her voice drowned out by the relentless machinery of bureaucracy. Each dismissal chipped away at her resolve, leaving her feeling more isolated and defeated. Her spirit, once fierce and unyielding, had been worn down by the relentless grind of disappointment. But it wasn't just the legal battle that weighed on her. Sameer's silence was a constant ache in her heart, a reminder of the bond they once shared. Despite their past connection, he had distanced himself, seemingly trapped in his own struggles. She had hoped he would step up, that he would fight alongside her, but instead, he had become just another shadow in her life, one she had once clung to for support, now a reminder of what she had lost. Ria had reached out to him countless times, seeking his guidance, his reassurance, but each attempt had fallen flat. He was consumed by his own demons, buried beneath the weight of family obligations and the darkness that loomed over him. She felt abandoned, left to navigate the storm alone. The love that had once buoyed her now felt like an anchor, pulling her deeper into the depths of despair. As she sat in her small apartment, surrounded by stacks of legal documents and unanswered messages, Ria knew she had to make a choice. The fight had drained her, and each day without progress was another reminder that the life she once envisioned was slipping further away. She needed to reclaim her agency, to step away from the shadows that had engulfed her for so long. Finally, after days of restless contemplation, Ria made her decision. It was time to leave Sameer behind, to sever the ties that had once bound them. The love that had fueled her hope had become a source of confusion and heartache, and she couldn't afford to cling to a past that no longer existed. Taking a deep breath, she composed a message, her fingers trembling over the screen. "Sameer," she wrote, her heart heavy with the weight of her words. "I can't keep waiting for you. I need to move on. This isn't working for me anymore. I wish things were different, but I have to prioritize my own healing." With one last glance at the message, she pressed send, feeling a mix of relief and sorrow. It was a final farewell, a letting go of the dream she had held onto for far too long. Ria stared at the screen, waiting for a response, but deep down, she knew it wouldn't come. Sameer had become a stranger, and the connection they had once shared had faded into a distant memory. As the days turned into weeks, Ria began to embrace her decision. She started looking for new opportunities, new paths that would lead her away from the darkness of her past. Slowly but surely, she began to rebuild her life, channeling her energy into her passions and interests that had long been neglected. But even as she forged ahead, a part of her couldn't help but wonder about Sameer. Was he okay? Did he ever think of her? Yet, every time that flicker of hope ignited within her, she reminded herself why she had left, to reclaim her happiness, to be free from the chains that had bound her for so long. Ria knew the road ahead would be challenging, filled with uncertainties and obstacles, but she was determined to face it head-on. She had fought too hard to be silenced, and now she was ready to step into the light, leaving behind the shadows of her past, Sameer included. And so, with each step forward, she felt the burden lift, the weight of time and regret slowly fading away. Ria was no longer the girl who had fought for love in the dark, she was becoming the woman who would find her own light, no matter the cost. How does Ria's decision to move on from Sameer reflect her growth throughout the chapter? What impact do you think this will have on her future? What role does time play in Ria's journey? How do you think her 2 years of waiting and legal battles shape her perspective on life and love? Do you think Sameer's silence was a form of betrayal, or was he simply unable to handle his own struggles? How would you interpret his absence in Ria's life? Rhea chooses to focus on healing and reclaiming her happiness. What steps do you think are crucial for someone in a similar situation to begin rebuilding their life? How does Rhea's decision to prioritize herself challenge traditional notions of waiting for love or resolution from others? See you again with Chapter 10, Silent Whispers of Love.